for those of you that are oh boy. For those of you that are watching live, give me a few minutes to get things going. And then, for those of you that are watching live, you shut up. And I'll get things going. Just want to get that. I'm terrified I'm going to click the wrong button and close something that I need. What the hell? Okay. I'm getting there. I apologize. I don't know why this seems so much more complicated this time. I don't know. I mean, everything's working. I just got to get it all organized. I'll do that. I'll do. That's nice of you to say. I have two monitors and I'm having more trouble doing it. That doesn't seem to make much sense. Okay, I have that, I have that, I have that. I have this. All right, okay, this should be okay. He tells himself knowing it won't be. All right, I'm gonna tweet this crap out. And then get the Pokemon and we'll be good to go. Okay. Why? Come on now. Why won't you move? Uh-oh, something's got to be going on here. Okay, we're okay. We're back to okay. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I apologize. All right. I need the Pokemon. All right. I think I'm ready now. Doesn't matter. This is a dog and pony show anyway. All right. I'm going to go for it. You go over here. You go over here. All right, we're doing it. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, Webisode 616, the Shelmet Podcast. Shelmet is a bug-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 5. It evolves into I can't tell you when traded for a I won't tell you, which evolves into I can't tell you. Neither evolves if at least one holds an Everstone during the trade. Blah, blah, blah. Shelmet is a bivalve or snail-like Pokemon. Its gray shell resembles a knight's visor with a coiling spiral of its shell further back. The shell has protrusions on the underside, which it apparently uses as legs. Its inner body is pink with a long puckered mouth and green markings below its eyes. It closes the lid on its helmet-like shell as a defensive tactic and can spit a poisonous sticky fluid. It thrives in moist habitats like bogs and swamps. 50 to 50 male-female ratio. It is a foot tall, basically, it's 17 pounds and a foot tall, and you can't teach that. There you go. This was the right one, right? That's 616. Yeah, I am doing the podcast again today or on a Friday again this week because what the hell? Because there's some family stuff going on tomorrow. Again, these goddamn family people doing their stuff on the weekend. What are they thinking? I guess they want family members to be there, but I'm like, come on. I got a podcast. I've done 615 of them. I'm not missing a week, but that's why we're here today. So I know it was last minute. Thank you, because I completely forgot I was doing this thing tomorrow. So thanks to those of you who are joining live. It's greatly appreciated. Let me say hello to Low Camp, SD Sick Hero, Burn and Cheese, Captain Falcon, Bacon Bits, Twisted N, Andy the Zombie. Who else we got here? Nick Jones, Klaztech, Tommy, David, Stitched Sketch, Bella, We Love Her, Doof. It's a great name, Doof. Josu? I know how to say Ponce. Kevin, Ninja Baseball Batman, and anybody else that I missed. Thanks for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Hello, Stuz. I know Guy Bones. Gosh darn family. Yeah, always getting in the way. Yeah, I shaved my head. It's been shaved. No matter how much I wanted this part up here to join in with the rest of the hair, it wouldn't. So I just shaved it all off. So now I'll shave my head again in like another 6 months or something, so I can sit and watch all the other hair growing nicely, and I'll be like, why can't you join the rest of it? Have Raw Dad and Raw Mom on the podcast. I can't remember if I've ever done that. And if I did, apparently it was so bad that I had to push it out of my memory. But yes, the podcast must always go on. We haven't missed an episode. Thank you, Andy the Zombie. That's nice of you to say. Yeah, I haven't missed one. I don't plan on ever missing one. I've been sick. I haven't had a voice. We've had all kinds of stuff going on. There's been solo shows. No matter what it is, we're doing the podcast. Burn, she says, I remember Raw Mom at least. Well, yeah, that's true. We probably... I thought I remembered one in there with my mom, but I don't know if we've ever had my dad. And if we have my dad, that show is going to be absolutely crazy. We should do that maybe next year for like April Fool's Day or something like that. I should have my parents on again, or just my dad. I should have my dad host the show, because then that'd be one hell of a weird podcast. But yeah, so here I am. I'm doing the show. So again, thank you to those of you that joined randomly. I want to mute my phone. For those of you that watch the Parents Play series, I want to share a little secret with you. So today's been super busy. This whole week's been really busy. But I have a Parents Play that I have to edit. And it is going to feature a game that's coming out on the Switch that we haven't seen any footage for. There's like an official trailer, but we haven't seen any gameplay footage. And if I have time tonight, I'm going to edit that, or at least try to edit it tonight. And I want to get it out there early so you guys can check that out. But yes, to my knowledge and to my understanding, it will be the very first time that we see gameplay footage of this game running on the Switch. It's a game is coming to the Switch. It's not a surprise there, but I'm like 99.9% sure, outside of the developer, we have not seen, or the publisher, I should say, we have not seen any footage of this game on the Switch. So I'm gonna my parents are gonna play ARMS at some point, yeah, and yes, they're gonna do Street Fighter as well. But this is something else, and I can't say, but I can tell you ARMS and Street Fighter are going to happen. ARMS can't happen yet because of the embargo. Otherwise, I would have done it this week, but not allowed to show it until later on, so no point in Andy the Zombie. It's not the Mario Rabbids game, no. But yes, there's going to be footage of this game. I'm very excited to show you it. Again, it's a game you know about. It's a game you know is coming to the Switch. That's not, neither of those are secrets. But hopefully tonight, by tonight I mean tomorrow, because I edit at like midnight, and it takes me until like, depending on how it goes, 5 in the morning or something like that. Stitched Sketch. I would do Shantae, but out of context. But my parents have already played Half Genie Hero on the Wii U, so I don't. There's not enough different in the Switch version for me to have them revisit it. So this is something else. Oh, I wish it was Sonic Mania. That would be great. That'd be really cool. But no, I can't pull those kind of strings. This is within the realm of my string pulling. So, so yeah. Now that I've talked that up enough, hopefully you're excited for it. I don't want to blow it out of proportion, but yeah, it's a game that we haven't seen footage of yet outside of official trailers or the publisher. So I'm excited. I want to share it with you. I recorded it last night. I thought it went well, and I just need time to edit it. That's all. All right. So we got that out of the way. Now, it was a particularly busy week for Nintendo. It is digital and retail, Murasaki. And hello, Murasaki. It was a particularly busy week. It's almost like there's something coming up. It's almost like E3 is right around the corner. So a whole bunch of news is coming out. So I'm going to cover all the big stories, and we'll see how long it takes me, because obviously there's not going to be any music this week, and there's not going to be no, that's it. There's not going to be any music this week because I can't play against myself. Hello, Robert. You're not late. I just randomly started this podcast. I could only do it when I had the time. So, yeah, and I wanted to get it in there before the global test punch for ARMS went on, because I know you guys want to get in on there. Hello, Green Bolt, and I can't answer that question. That's too specific. I'm sorry. But anyway, let's get to some top stories. So this week, the developers of Fire Emblem say that the Switch outing of the game is going to be something completely different. So this information comes from Masahiro Higuchi of Intelligence Systems and Hitoshi Yamagami of Nintendo, and also Kenta Nakanishi of Nintendo. So they say Fire Emblem series has a long history of home console games, and it's not primarily considered a handheld franchise. It's just, in the States, the handheld installments really took off. So, fans now in the States that are new to the series might only think that it appears on handhelds, but there were installments on home consoles all throughout the years. And now we've known for a while that one is coming to the Switch. They say the Switch version will allow for something completely different while breathing life into characters like never before. So I don't know when we're going to get a first look at this thing. It'll be cool to see something at E3, but they have other, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What the hell was I saying? God, I read one thing and I completely lost my train of thought. They have other. Well, it's gone, whatever it was. But anyway. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. All right. They have to worry about Fire Emblem Warriors, which is coming out 2017. So at E3, I would suspect we're going to see a lot about that. They're going to want to promote that, which is coming to 3DS and Switch. Maybe we'll get a little tease of Fire Emblem Switch, but I suspect most of the focus is going to be on Warriors. They also say they believe many people were surprised with the Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE collaboration, and they can't say if they're working on any other collaborations besides the one we know, which is Fire Emblem Warriors, because they say that would ruin the surprise. So, take that however you want. Does that mean they're doing another collaboration with somebody? I don't know. But they say they like to surprise people, and they were pleased with the reaction to Tokyo Mirage Sessions. So, it's not out of the question, obviously. But for what we know, there's Warriors and there's Fire Emblem Switch. So we'll see what else happens for the franchise. I just don't want them to overload it because, Fire Emblem wasn't big here, and then it caught on. And I don't know. I feel Echoes hit too soon after the last installment of Fire Emblem. I feel like we're getting I feel like fans may be getting too much all at once, or too much in a short time frame. So The Switch game is due out 2018, so hopefully that'll be later 2018, and we get some breathing room in between titles. Because I'd hate for this. The series was almost dead, and then it caught on in the States on the 3DS, and I'd hate to see the series start to wane again because people just don't want to play it anymore because they've gotten too much Fire Emblem in recent years. I mean, if you think back, the previous Fire Emblem game, Nintendo put out a press release saying how it had the biggest sales of the Fire Emblem franchise stateside and all that stuff. We didn't get one of those for Echoes, so it's clear Echoes that hasn't, well, I shouldn't say it's clear, but it seems likely that Echoes hasn't sold as much, but you never know. Kuro says, with Echoes, I want all main Fire Emblem games to have voice acting. It's really good in that game. Yeah, that's what our friend Nintendan was saying, how much he thought they went above and beyond with the voice acting, and it was really high quality as well. So yeah, I got nothing against portables. I like portable platforms. I'll play whatever game is on a portable. But when it comes to personal preference, I would rather play on TV. So I'm really looking forward to playing the next Fire Emblem game because it's on Switch. And yes, I know that can be portable too, but I like to sit down in front of the TV and have, I don't know, a big experience. Hello, Zeus. Good to see you. See, Bankeron says, I don't like Fire Emblem. They shoot games out in months. I thought the turnaround for the most recent Fire Emblems was too quick. Yeah. As the sticker says, Honey Pop Fire Emblem could have great voice acting. Yeah, I think that's one collaboration that's not going to happen. And if it does happen, I think that's going to have to be on the fan side of things. I don't think Nintendo's going to approve that. There have been weirder things, though. All right, so some inside sources that are working or have ties to Nintendo are talking about Switch production overall. And they say the Switch is getting a production boost. This is on top of the last boost that we heard. So they say Nintendo's ordered a production increase for Switch, and the planned production hike is to meet the demand ahead of Thanksgiving and the Christmas sales season. So obviously, Switch didn't launch then, but holiday season is always going to be big for video games, so they want to make sure they meet the demand there. It's obvious it seems like they underestimated demand right now because it's still sold out. When it comes to North America, that is. It's easier to find across different parts of Europe, but still sold out in multiple regions, and just as tough to find in Japan as well. So, they were playing it safe after the Wii U, obviously. The Wii U did not sell anywhere near what they wanted it to. So when they put out the Switch, they're like, all right, let's not go too crazy out of the gate. And of course, people were like, we want the Switch. And now they're like, oh, crap, we don't have enough to sell to people. They increased production, and this production increase was ordered just a few weeks after the launch. And now the target is 18 million units out there for the end of this coming fiscal year. So the fiscal year ends March 2018. So they're not projecting 18 million sold. They're projecting 18 million units on store shelves worldwide by the end of this fiscal year. And some analysts believe that Nintendo is intentionally conservative in its guidance, and they say Nintendo is going to put up to 20 million out there. We will see what happens. Hopefully that's the case, because that means it should be easier for people to find. So obviously this ramp in production is doing big numbers for the people that are helping to manufacture the Switch as well, because they're making money, and Nintendo's like, we need a lot more, and they're like, yes, right away. So one of the suppliers for the Switch for a key component in the platform is Hosiden, and they have seen a surge to a 7-year high for their stock. So obviously that shows you how big of a boom the Switch is right now. Hopefully things stay that way. Some analysts suggest that Nintendo is using the shortage as a marketing ploy, while others say they miscalculated demand. That's always going to be the debate, and obviously Nintendo's not going to come out and say, hey, we made sure there weren't enough units out there to drive up demand and artificially inflate the numbers and stuff like that. Be like, people can't get enough of the Switch. They keep snatching them up as soon as we put them out there, and they're not putting a lot of units out there. But I really think in this instance it would be more the Wii U was a dud as far as sales go, and we want to make sure we're not sitting with tons of stock on store shelves that we can't move at all. So that's just me. The only chance we're going to get of finding out the truth is if, some employee quits Nintendo and goes rogue and gives that information out, and then you could bet Nintendo would follow that up by saying that's not true. And then there's an analyst, Kazunori Ito. And he says he believes the Switch will sell 80 million units over its lifetime. Well, that would certainly be nice. That will not reach the Wii levels of sales, which were just over 100 million. I think it's like 101. Maybe it's 99. I could be wrong. Somewhere around that 100 mark. But going from the Wii U, which sold, what, 13.4 million, something like that. This guy's saying he expects the Switch to sell 80 million. That's a pretty good deal. Let's say that's a pretty good deal. So we'll see what happens. Some guy says marketing ploys are figuring out ways sales have broken records based on different timetables and then reporting it to the world to generate hype. Underproduction based on miscalculated demand is based on cost-benefit analysis that people are paid a lot of money to perform. People who confuse these two things need to stop. You sound like an idiot. Well, there you go, insider. Some guy on the internet says you sound like an idiot. I'm sure he's crying about it right now. Some guy at Sony, Sony had some really kind words to say about Nintendo and the Switch in particular. This is Sony's president of worldwide studios, Shuhei Yoshida. Mr. Yoshida has been a longtime fan of Nintendo, always has kind things to say about the company, never disrespectful towards what they do. It's the kind of executive I really like. Obviously, Sony's game division, hardware and software, is in the same business as Nintendo. And yeah, they're going to butt heads as far as space on retail shelves and marketing share and public awareness go and stuff like that. So yeah, they're going to come up against one another without a doubt. But still, he's not going to use his position to badmouth what the competition is doing, and he instead speaks of them highly, and then turns that into also positive conversation about Sony themselves. So in an interview with Famitsu, their president, Mr. Yoshida, talked about how he was at Bit Summit, which is a whole bunch of indie developers showing off their games, and he talked about how Nintendo was exhibiting there, showing off their indie stuff on Switch, blah, blah, blah. And then he's asked, Nintendo also has the impression of proactively talking to indies. The indie game developers also seem to be more proactively going towards Nintendo Switch. And Mr. Yoshida says, I think it's very good. We have been doing our utmost to support indie game creators until now, and a lot of very good indie games have been released. But recently, Nintendo also has been approached by very good indie game developers, and they're going to support middleware in the fastest time possible. So it does seem like they're putting in effort, and I think it's also a great thing for the indie game industry. There are quite some parts where Nintendo users do not pile up with PlayStation users, so it should be possible to deliver games to that many users, shouldn't it? I think from the eyes of the indie game developers, Nintendo Switch may also have a side look of being easy to port games onto. So he's saying, we do indie games. Nintendo's really embracing indie games. It's a great thing for the industry overall, and it's good to see Nintendo doing this. Boom. That's it. Nice stuff all around. Really cool. I think Mr. Yoshida is a real class act, and unfortunately, there's not many of those in this industry. Elf Tarot says, always great to see people in the industry working toward a common goal. Yeah, I know. These are big companies that are out to make millions and billions of dollars. Yes, I understand that. But they are in the business of entertainment, putting smiles on people's faces. And yes, the end result of that is money, but it's still nice, for entertainment firms and companies and agencies to work together to entertain the masses. I think that's a cool thing. Because, music, TV, movies, video games, it's tough because you're putting a quote-unquote product out there, but there are people that are pouring their heart and souls, their sweat, blood, and tears, or blood, sweat, and tears, as people usually say, into these things, and they mean a lot to them. So you may have to go a little bit further down the line to get away from the corporate mentality, but there are people working on these things that deeply care about them and want to give people around the world a moving experience. So I think that's cool. All right, so I caught this on a Reddit post, and I was like, this is pretty crazy. Neo, don't be mean to Metroid. Maybe Metroid will have his day at E3. There's a user in the chat named Metroid, and Neo said, hi, dead franchise, when Metroid came in. Fingers crossed, Metroid. This is your E3. But anyway, This was on a Reddit post. I heard about HD, or I should say, I read about HD Rumble utilizing more than just the haptic feedback, the unique rumble aspects of the controller. It was using the motor of the controller itself to make specific sound effects that go along with the gameplay. And I was like, what? But it's true, and it's really cool. So I heard about it being in ARMS, and I heard about it being in Mario Kart. So the user that, well, because I'm on a desktop and I can actually get things done here while I'm doing a podcast, this was discovered, or at least reported, by JoeMax213 on Reddit. He had a sound clip of, I don't remember, one of these games. And I was like, it wasn't the best quality, not that mine are either, but I thought I could get a at least louder sample. So I went in and I recorded these things myself. So I have examples of the sounds that the Switch Pro controller, it also works with Joy-Con, but I use the Pro controller. The sounds that the Pro controller makes when you have HD Rumble turned on and you're doing certain things in ARMS or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So in ARMS, there's a specific sound effect of when you are picked up by your opponent and thrown across the arena and you land. So there's a sound effect that, the sound effect for being picked up is just very generic. But it's the sound of when you're thrown and when you land. It's a very specific, like, 8-bit sound. It sounds like old school 8-bit sound. I mean, I could play it here. You're going to hear it over the speakers. It's not going to be very good. But and then on top of that, there's a unique noise for when you pick up coins in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's not, like a coin noise. That's trademark. That's my coin noise. It's not anything like that, but it is a unique sound. So, well, let me see. I'm sitting here. I'll play it for you. Let's see if you can actually hear it. So this is the arm sound effect repeated 3 times. So you can hear the very distinct for the throw, which is, I think, the coolest part. And then you hear kind of like a thud, or like it could even be used as an old 8-bit like explosion noise. And here is the coin noise in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The clicking was me on the controller. If you want to hear these better, go to the post and top stories, and you can see, and you can play them that way. But this little kind of stuff, I love. I don't know. I can't explain it to you. I just love these little touches. And the Steam controller also does the same kind of thing, that some developers have used it in that way. And then other people who have used the controller and are more technically inclined have actually used the motors in the controller to play music. Obviously one note shifting it up and down, but still to play songs with it. So it's an aspect of the motors that are used in these controllers. Haptic feedback, HD Rumble, same kind of thing. So check that out. Yeah, when you're playing next time, hold your Joy-Cons up to your ears, or hold the Switch Pro controller up to one side of your head and check it out. It's really cool stuff. ZGamer93 says, I think Thumper uses this well too. I've been really impressed by HD Rumble and its sound effects. I have not gone in to listen to it in Thumper. I've played a butt ton of Thumper. Butt thump. But I want to go in there and check that out. That's one of the things I plan on doing this weekend, because I like that stuff. Thanks for dropping in, Fangs the Wolf. It is a Friday show, and we will catch you later. Thank you, Mosey. Man, you shave your head, and people are giving you all kinds of compliments. Thank you. I appreciate it. I could go to the captain's hat, too. I got to wash this thing, man. Look at that. Look at that grossness. Well, it's on the floor now. It doesn't matter. It's dirty anyway. All right. Platinum talked a little bit about Bayonetta 3. They didn't come out and say, like, Bayonetta 3 is happening. But, they're thinking about it. So this is a Source Gaming interview with Atsushi Inaba from Platinum Games. And Mr. Inaba says, I would like to make Bayonetta 3. We're talking within the company even now about what to do, but because we're constantly talking about it, that actually makes it really hard to say. If we weren't talking about it, we could just say something random or offhand, but because we're actually talking about it, of course, that's just something that you talk about when you're making a series. Do you want to keep the same protagonist? there's plenty of precedent for changing protagonists, and so that is something we discuss. Do we want to keep the same one, have a different one, add new ones? But that's certainly not anything I can say for sure at this point. So I think that's a really cool way to answer the question. It's like, if we weren't doing Bayonetta 3 or at least considering it, I could be like, oh yeah, we'd love to do it. We'll throw different protagonists in there. We got this idea and that idea. But he's like, we're actually like kind of talking about it right now, so I can't really say too much because those ideas might be implemented in the game. So Ghost Mutt has the top rated comment and says, a male Bayonetta, he better be called Boyonetta. Well, if it's not, then I'm not buying the game. That's all there is to it. Metroid says, I wouldn't mind multiple protagonists. Yeah, sure, why the hell not? Double the game size. Throw all kind. I mean, Bayonetta is all about being crazy. As long as the characters are crazy, I'm down with it. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nick Jones says he thinks I have a closet full of that same hat. No, I do not. I only have that one. I like to live dangerously. I should probably get another just in case. Well, I should get another obviously because it'd be cleaner, but I should get another just in case something happens that happen. What would I do? My daily videos on the YouTube channel will be completely different. I wouldn't be able to wear my hat. Just not. I mean, I shouldn't even get like 2 more. Yeah, Neo says 2 more. Yeah, I mean, I would, but I bought them at a Spencer's. I have to order online. I bought them at a Spencer's locally, and that Spencer's has since closed down. I guess maybe if I bought 2 more hats, they wouldn't have closed down. Hello, Cumulative. It's good to see your familiar name. We have another round of information on the rumored, not rumored, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle game. So let me give you that breakdown. And I should say, as I say with all of these posts, this is not confirmed. Nothing is confirmed until Nintendo comes out to say, or in this case, Nintendo and or Ubisoft. But here's your latest round of rumored information. Oh, now you're talking to SD Secure. He says, I need a Mario hat with eyes on it. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. All right, development started 3 years ago. Ubisoft was one that came up with the idea, and they went through the usual pitching process that developers have to go through to get their games done. So obviously, Nintendo's characters are kind of key to this. So Ubisoft approached Nintendo and put together their pitch, blah, blah, blah. And apparently it went through. They say it seems like this title may have been in the works for the Wii U at first, but obviously that was scrapped. It's being made by Ubisoft's Paris and Milan divisions, but the core creative direction is being handled by the Milan studio. Nintendo's overseeing development and approving the ideas, but they've been very accepting of what's going on, very like hands-off, like Ubisoft to be like, hey, we want to do this, that, or the other thing. And Nintendo very uncharacteristically is like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I guess they trust Ubisoft enough. The game features surreal, self-referential gags. And here's where people start getting angry. At one point in development, so we don't know if it's still there, but as far as we know it is, there was a hulky Donkey Kong-themed Rabbid that was one of the game's bosses. And this Rabbid has a whole bunch of bananas that it uses to keep replenishing its health. So you have to cut off the food supply to stop this Rabbid from replenishing his health in order to take him out. And the DK Rabbid will dab periodically if he lands an attack correctly. Now, dabbing. I know dabbing's over with, as far as like an actual trend that people do. Now, just like any trend, makes people angry. But, it could go one of 2 ways. It depends on how the other characters react to it. So, like, if he does it and the characters don't do anything, then, whatever. I take it all back. It could still be funny. We're at the point now where it's, we went from the fad to everybody hating it to now it's kind of funny, or at least that's where I'm at. I mean, I wouldn't, it's not like I'd see it and I'd be like, nope, not playing this game. But I know people are going to be upset about it. On top of that, when this boss faints, the Rabbid cosplaying as Princess Peach will walk over to him and take a selfie with him in the background. 8 playable characters, each with their own individual skill tree for developing special abilities. Each also start with a base skill that they can later improve upon, in addition to learning new ones. Mario has a passive ability, which enables him to automatically fire at an enemy if they enter his field of vision. Some of these powers are common across multiple characters, but there are also unique ones. For example, Peach has a powerful ability to inflate enemies using a foot pump until they explode. There was an online suite that was being tested several months back, but this mode was inaccessible in the test build, so either it's not done or they scrapped the idea. There was an additional mode named Arena, but we don't know what that is. Prototypes featured a mode called Amiibo Machine. Now, obviously, that ties in with Amiibos. Again, we don't know if that's going to be part of it. Ubisoft is producing prototype figurines of some of the game characters, and those may turn out to be Amiibo, so maybe this game will have its own brand of Amiibo. The game was originally intended to be unveiled during Nintendo's January Switch event, but it got pushed back in order to give the game some more polish. And as of right now, the game will be revealed at E3 2017. I don't think there's any question that the game is going to be revealed there, especially if they're sticking to what the release schedule is, because planned release is either August or September. So they're going to have to show it at E3. I mean, it's a big name game with Nintendo's major characters. So, they're going to give it the official unveiling at E3. So what? We're going to see it in a couple weeks. Oh my God. I'm so not ready for E3. Whatever. What are you going to do? So there's your next round of rumored information on this Rabbids monstrosity. Top rated comment comes from Kuro, and he shows off a picture of Donkey Kong from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doing his celebration pose, which somewhat looks like a dab. I don't want to say it is a dab, but it certainly appears to be one. So yeah, it will be nice to finally get like a look at the trailer for this game and see some gameplay footage. Of course, we've seen the art and we've seen screens, even though we weren't supposed to. But it'll be nice to see the game in action and get, reading about the vibe and reading about what the game is aiming to do is one thing, and screenshots are one thing. But seeing the game in action, seeing the humor in motion, hearing the music and stuff like that, that can really help tie everything together. So we should be seeing that very, very shortly. Brand new game announced for the Switch, coming from, it's being published by Square Enix. It's the same developers that were behind I Am Setsuna. They have revealed Lost Sphear for the Switch. Now that's Sphear, S-P-H-E-A-R, not Sphere as you normally would spell it. So this is coming to the Switch in early 2018. It will be retail and digital, so it's up to you how you want to get it. The adventure of Lost Sphear begins in a remote town where a young boy, Kanata, I want to say Katana every time, Kanata awakens from a devastating dream to find his hometown disappearing. To stop the world from being lost forever, Kanata and his comrades set out to rebuild the world around them with the power of memory, capital M, by manifesting thoughts into matter. So this expands upon ideas that were found in I Am Setsuna, including the ATB battle system. Now you can freely move around, it seems like, or at least move around somewhat. So, pre-order exclusively from Square Enix Online Store for PS4 and Switch. Fans who pre-ordered a game from Square Enix Online Store will receive two music tracks as a gift at launch. When's launch? 2018. January 2018? December 2018? I don't know. They ain't telling us. We gotta wait. Active Time Battle System. Yes, that's what it stands for. Cumulative. The first comment comes from Lazy Sprite, and they say, why do they set the tone so melancholic again? They did it with Setsuna, and now again. I don't like that at all. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I guess that's the vibe they want to give for their games. That's what they like. They like melancholy. Like, here's a good example. Fragile for the Wii is one of my favorite games ever, and that game is pretty much melancholy almost the whole way through. But that vibe, that feeling, just makes me feel a certain way. Like, this sounds so weird. It's like I can feel the game's experience in my heart. It's like I don't know. It just sticks with me in a way that the game wouldn't if it wasn't melancholy like that. I have that here somewhere. I think my sister borrowed that game and I never got it back. Well, time for me to buy it on eBay for $200 or something. Anybody want to look up how much Fragile is now? One of my favorite games. I got a DM from somebody. Rami Cast Sister. Yes, that's right. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. You know, sometimes it can be tough when a developer is like, "Here's another game we're doing. This one's sad too," and you're like, "Oh, enough with the sad stuff." But that's the way that they approach their games. Rocket says, "I still have Fragile Dreams. I should play it more." Yeah, that's a great game. Great soundtrack. One of my favorites, definitely in my opinion, one of the best on Wii. I really love that game. Stitched says, "Fragile is still my backlog. I'm ashamed." Hey, if you own it and it's in your backlog, then don't be ashamed. If you don't own it and it's in your backlog, go buy it now. All right. There was a retailer Japanese retailer had listed on their website an arcade stick for Switch. Now, I don't know if this was the Hori one that we already know about, Hori, Hori, or a different one, but the listing was quickly removed because the listing said that the stick could be used for Switch games. So this stick only worked with Switch games, but it said it could be used with Switch games like Pokken Tournament. And as you know, Pokken Tournament isn't announced for the Switch. A port to the Switch doesn't seem crazy. It's just not announced. So they put the listing up, and then they were like, whoops, and they yanked it. So we don't know why they yanked it. Were they just like, oh, that was completely wrong. It was just all wrong on our part. Or were they like, oh, crap, we put up something before we were supposed to. I don't know. Top-rated comment comes from Devil Rising, and he says they should totally just re-release all Wii U titles on Switch because, as we all know, nobody bought a Wii U. A small amount of people bought a Wii U. It is true. I mean, that's why games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are selling so well, because not a lot of people bought a Wii U. I mean, plenty of Wii U owners bought that game, but lots and lots of people didn't. When you compare the sales of Mario Kart Wii to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Mario Kart 8, it's such a vast difference. It's insane. So obviously Nintendo was like, well, Mario Kart's now one of our biggest franchises, so we want to make sure we get this out on Switch and give it a second go, because in my opinion, 8 is the best installment. But I could be wrong. Platinum is teasing their Switch title, so we know they are working on something for Switch. Is it Bayonetta 3? I don't know. But they're doing something. The Wonderful 102, I would like to play that. They talked to Famitsu. So they are specifically asked, is something happening on Switch? And Platinum says, we're creating it, you know. I think it's going to be interesting. Well, I mean, all of Platinum games are games are interesting. I mean, that's kind of their thing. Interesting, wacky, off the wall, crazy, action-packed, over the top. I can expect that's what we're going to get from their new game. I love that they have a good relationship with Nintendo. I think that's fantastic. One day, they're going to make a game that's really going to connect with people. I know Bayonetta is like their big hit, but in terms of how big it is, it's not that big. It's not, you know, it sold over 1 million, but it's not on the scale of, like, you know, real big franchises, real big hits. It's a critical darling, sure. But one day they're going to do something where it just really clicks with consumers, and people are going to eat it up. I know it's coming. They have so much heart and so much talent. I know it's going to happen. I just don't know when. This could be the one. Duck Hunter has a top-rated comment, and he says, personally, I'd love a sequel to Star Fox Zero. Well, I think you're in the minority there. Oh, no, I've made a terrible mistake. I think you're in the minority, but I'm also in that minority with you. I would like to see that as well. I made a terrible mistake. I accidentally closed the tab I was reading. And yes, I know I can just hit these 3 keys to reopen a closed tab and accidentally close tab, but I'm afraid I don't remember which ones it is, and I don't want to accidentally close other stuff. I'm back. Intelligent Systems has some interest in creating a new Advance Wars game. This is Nintendo's Hitoshi Yamagami. He says, personally, I'd love to do Advance Wars, but since it's hard to create relationships between its characters compared to Fire Emblem, I don't have a clear idea of what kind of setting it could have. Another developer at Intelligent Systems says, the Advance Wars series is one that I personally have a lot of interest in. I hear some of the staff here saying that. I hear some of the staff here saying that they want to make one too. So if you have a chance, so let me try this again. From the top. The Advance Wars series is one that I personally have a lot of interest in. I hear some of the staff here saying that they want to make one too. So if we have a chance, it's something I'd like to do. Perfect. Nailed it. Use that take. So yeah, they got developers there that want to do Advance Wars. I know fans have been asking for new Advance Wars for a while now. So let's see it happen. I mean, I don't think it has to have relationships in it. Just because Fire Emblem doesn't mean that Advance Wars has to. Just give us all-out warfare. Sokar quotes what I just said and answers back by saying, Advance Wars isn't simulation RPG like Fire Emblem. It's more of a strategy game. So having that relationship thing here is kind of pointless, isn't it? Anyways, even if they begin to do it now, how can they make it so that new and old gamers get to like it? I mean, look how divided the Fire Emblem fan base is. Is it really that divided? I don't know. He could be right. I think what this is with the Advance Wars series is don't overthink it. Just give us a new one with all the stuff that we liked about the other ones. You know, it could be paint by numbers at this point because it's been so long since we've had an installment. Then when that hits and hopefully sells well, then you can take it and expand upon it. We don't need something that reinvents the mold right now. We just need a new installment. It's been a really long time. I don't think we're gonna do this because we're running late on time. Boy, when I do a solo show, I talk a lot. I mean, obviously it's only me, but I drag on. I apologize. Super Nintendo World. That's the name right now for the Universal Studios theme park portion. That's going to be Nintendo content. That's what they're calling it right now. There's a new, what do you call them? There's a new trademark that surfaced, and it gave us some new information on what we can expect at this place. So Japan, Florida, California. It's going to be at all of them. This specific trademark mentions management or arrangement of kart racing. I mean, if you're doing a Super Nintendo land, I don't think there's there's no better franchise to turn into a theme park ride. Like Mario Kart is ripe for the picking. So it's a no-brainer. I mean, I think pretty much everybody expects that to happen. So now we see the trademark mentions that specifically. On top of that, the trademark also mentions hotel accommodations services. So maybe there could be a hotel close to the park that is officially owned, run by Universal, that gets some Nintendo-themed decorations, or maybe the whole building itself. We don't know. Ratmastered says, here's hoping for a Metroid-themed horror ride. That would be really cool. How about a Luigi's Mansion-themed horror ride? Obviously, that'd be a little more kid-friendly horror, but I still think it could be a lot of fun. You know, like in style of Disney's, whatever it's called, Haunted Mansion, or whatever it is. So we'll see what happens. But I'm excited for that. Too bad it's so long off. It's not like, oh, next year we're going to go. It's like, 3 years, if not more. So we know the Switch is hard to find, and Nintendo's trying to make as many as they can. But what's the holdup? Why can't they get more done? Why can't they put them out quicker? Well, according to this article, what is this? It's an article from the Wall Street Journal. They look at what could be impacting the creation of Switch hardware and why it's so hard to ramp up production quickly. And they say the same thing we already heard, hoping to make 20 million Switch units by the end of the fiscal year. But right now there's an industry-wide capacity shortage for components that are used in smartphones, computer servers, and other tech, the Switch included. This includes NAND flash memory chips that store data, liquid crystal displays, and the motors that enable HD rumble. This rapid expansion of web-based services as well for different corporations has driven demand for computer servers that use flash memory. And continued demand for Apple's iPhone line also put a strain on components, and Apple has a new iPhone coming out, you know, like they always do. So now this company's asking for these parts, that company's asking for these parts, Apple's asking for these parts, and Apple's got a lot of money to throw around. So it's all these people looking for these same parts, and everybody has to work from the same pool, so there's not a lot to go around. So Nintendo is in that mix, and they don't have the money to throw around like Apple does, and plus there's other companies in there filling their quota to get done what they need to get done. So everybody's trying to get their things made, and there's just not enough components to go around. So we're just going to have to wait. Nintendo's going to be able to make what they can make based on what they allot to spend on production. If Nintendo increased spending significantly to get more parts, they could risk driving up the cost of the Switch. So they could be like, hey, we doubled production of the Switch. Now we got double the amount out there. By the way, Switch is $350 now. You'd be like, oh, I'll wait. And Nintendo may be forced to again consider shipping cargo by air at the end of the year to get more of the units in quickly. So when they're off the production line, normal process would take a few weeks to get them here, but Nintendo could pay more for air shipping, which is what they've done once already, to get more units out on the shelf. So when the holiday season comes around, depending on how this component shortage goes, they could be in the same situation. So they have to fork out a bit more cash to get them into stores quicker. They don't say anything about this component shortage getting fixed anytime soon. So I imagine as Apple moves closer and closer to producing their new iPhone, it's only going to get worse. Kuro has a top-rated comment and says, I believe the NES Mini, or the NES Classic Edition, also used NAND as well. This was NAND, N-A-N-D, not NAND, the bread, however you say it. This was probably one of the reasons why they had to discontinue it. They had to prioritize Switch and get the parts it needed. Well, I am not a tech person. I believe you. And if that is true about them using the same thing, then that certainly makes sense. Nice detective work there. SD Sticker says, ship them by drone. Yeah, that's it. Just one drone. Send a drone out. Nintendo, you got it, Bernard. Jeez. We got a release date for Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is coming to the Switch August 15th. It's going to cost $20. I remember back in my day, because I'm an old man, when Sonic games used to cost $50 and $60. Now we're getting a new Sonic game for $20. $20. Yeah, so August 15th, it'll be available to purchase digitally. There is that special edition as well that you could get, the collector's edition, I'm sorry, but that still doesn't include a physical copy of the game. Neo says, I'm paying $50 for the statue. Well, I hope you enjoy it. God, I'm so excited for this game. Oh, and the other thing, the trailer that they put out for it, while they didn't come out and say it, it seems to confirm the rumor that we talked about on the podcast a while ago, that Sega was commissioning some hand-drawn cutscenes for the game. This whole trailer is pretty, minus the gameplay footage, the large majority of this trailer is hand-drawn animation, hand-drawn story sequences. So it seems like that rumor is true. And I love the look of Sonic in these animations. It's so good. That Sonic CD art style, while this takes some liberties and changes things a little bit, it's still at its heart in the same style. Man, I don't think there's any cooler looking version of Sonic than that. That is like the epitome of Sonic's cool design to me. I love it so much. I wish they would take a closer approach to that style for actual in-game Sonic's character model. They don't. I don't dislike Sonic's character model, but I just that Sonic CD art style. Oh, I love it. First comment comes from Chosen One Knuckles, and he says, "Oh my God, a simply gorgeous black and white and color animation game trailer." Yeah, one of my favorite trailers in recent days. You should definitely spend some time checking that out. If I wasn't doing this damn podcast, I would watch it now. The cat shoving his paw. I was going to say his hand. Cat shoving his paw under the door. See if I can get this on camera. Oh, of course. Now he stops. God damn it. Wow. Oh, no, no. It's there. There you go. You can see. There. You see him right there. Where's my hand? This is so hard. You see it. The cat paws are there under the sweatshirt. I wasn't a liar. That was not worth it. All right, let's continue on because, you know, I got so much time to do this podcast. We're going to skip that one because it was fake. Pokemon Company had a pretty successful fiscal year. If you didn't know, Pokemon Go and Pokemon X and Y came out at Sun and Moon. Sorry about that. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, and they made some money for the Pokemon Company. I'm not sure that's my cat, Bankeron. You're right. Maybe it's not my cat. Pokemon Company, their profit hit 25 times higher than their profit last fiscal year. So this year they made $143 million as compared to their previous fiscal year, which they made $5.6 million. So that goes to show you just how much money the company made. Now, my understanding is this is the money after all the other cuts and other things are taken out. This isn't, you know, 143 and then this splits for all the other companies and costs and all that stuff. This is just their pure profit, 143 million. Because, you know, there's other things that go on there. Like when it comes to Pokemon Go, Apple takes a cut, Nintendo takes a cut, other companies take a cut, production costs and all that stuff. So, yeah, my understanding is this is just $143 million of pure profit. Guy Bones says enough to pay each Pokemon around $178,000. Yeah, it's a lot of bank. You can, I mean, you can't retire on that kind of, well, I don't know, maybe you can retire on that kind of money in the Pokemon world. I don't know what money they got over there. I mean, I would take it. I wouldn't be able to retire, but I would take it. Man, that'd be nice. I wish I was a Pokemon. An interview, speaking of Pokemon, an interview with, oh boy, how do you say this stuff? Mathieu Defayet, the vice president at Niantic. He did an interview with a Brazilian newspaper in which he detailed some of the stuff that's coming to Pokemon Go this summer. And he says, right now we're working on some that are due to hit this summer, such as giving more value to the choice of the teams, releasing legendary Pokemon, and introducing player versus player. One thing we learned with Ingress, that's their previous game, Ingress, was that the game can sustain itself if we are able to create social interactions amongst players. And we are working on that. So, Pokemon Go hit last summer, was a really big hit last summer. Now some additions to the game, including one of the most requested, player versus player. Could Pokemon Go have a resurgence this summer? I mean, there's still millions of people playing it, but could we see it get a bump? I don't think it's ever going to reach the levels it did when it launched, but could we see a lot of lapsed players come back to get in on the player versus player action? I don't know. We'll see. I'm certainly enticed. Guy Bones says, so Niantic's award speech didn't allude to Pokemon Go or a Pokemon Go / Legend of Zelda crossover? Fooled me. That's discussion from last week's podcast, and if you're listening to this, then you should know. That was courtesy of Nikki Hill. Nintendo gave more details on their... Boy, I'm late. Nintendo gave more details on their Splatoon 2 and ARMS E3 tournaments. So there's going to be pros. There's going to be amateurs. They're going to go at each other. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. It's going to be fights to the death. It's going to be bloodthirsty battles. If you want to get all those details, you can get the breakdown of who's coming, who's attending, when it's happening, where we can watch it, and all that stuff. We're not getting, you know, our Nintendo, whatever that was called, championships. God. World Championships. Losing my mind. But we're getting 2 tournaments to watch at E3, which should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a big E3 for Nintendo. Swedish Galaxy 94 says, good. Now I know when to go to bed. So he knows the stuff when he wants to see, and now he knows when he can get some sleep. North America, this week's uploads to the Wii U and the 3DS and the Switch. What did we get? There's more DLC for Fire Emblem Echoes. There's also Switch got Neo Geo game Last Resort. the 3DS on June 6th is getting Farming Simulator 18, which again, a reminder, first game with pigs, or first game in the series with pigs. On 3DS is Of Mice and Sand. On Wii U is Koki, the game. Also, Swap Blocks and Sphear Slice. I don't know. I don't know what those Wii U games are. The King Up North says Nintendo needs to announce by E3 and hopefully deploy a virtual console service on Switch. We need more games. Switch owners got nothing this week except for a Neo Geo game. What the hell, man? I need a new game, at least one, every week. I mean, there are going to be weeks where things don't come out. That's across all platforms. And it's almost like the system is new. It's almost like the system only came out in March. No, that can't be. Europe this week's uploads to the Wii U, 3DS, and Switch. Europe got Harvest Moon Sky Tree Village on the 3DS. They also got Mysterious Stars 3D Road to Idol. The God of the Stars wants to help a girl with a dream, assist him, and connect the stars with lines to create the items she wishes. Collect all the items in the girl's bedroom to make her dream come true. This sounds really weird. What the hell did I just read? Drone Fight is available. There's a demo for Blaster Master Zero on the 3DS. They also got the Fire Emblem Echoes DLC. Whole bunch of sales on stuff as there usually is. Switch got Astro Duel Deluxe, which is a local multiplayer, same screen party game for up to 6 players. They got Last Resort, the Neo Geo game. There's DLC for Minecraft, including Magic the Gathering skin pack, Adventure Time mashup pack, Story Mode skin pack, Villains skin pack, Minigame Masters skin pack, Power Rangers skin pack. There's also the Blaster Master Zero DLC, which is free until June 15th. The Ekoro character, which is from Gun Gal. We got that in the States as well. Wii U got the Cube Life Pixel Action Heroes demo. It also got a Drawing's Journey. Did you know that every drawing we make can come to life in the world of drawings? A resident of this world contacts you because he needs your help. To convince you to help him, he offers to tell you his misadventures. With him, you'll go from one sheet of paper to another, each with a hand-drawn background, pencil, pastel, painting, detailed or simplistic. Every place visited is unique. Talk to other drawings, pick up and use objects to advance your journey. Some dangers may also prove useful. Ink stain, torn sheet. So go on a drawing journey. That's the best I can sell it to you. I don't know what the hell it is. Preston Sterling is available on the Wii U. Armored Acorns Action Squirrel Squad is available on Wii U. Bonk's Revenge, the TurboGrafx 16 game is available on the Wii U. Come back to me, Light. Switch got the Minecraft Magic the Gathering skin pack and the Adventure Time mashup pack. Special deals, blah, 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 blah. That's your European stuff. There's a lot in Europe. Holy moly. Let's see somebody complain. CSP says, another week of nothing on discount front. So you are so not getting how the bloody system works, Nintendo. So angry. Oh, man. Maybe I'm not angry enough. So we got an Xbox survey this week from Microsoft. They make the Xbox. And they have a survey about a whole bunch of different things for the Xbox community. I can make myself turn red, yeah. Here's what one of the survey pages says. On a scale of 1 to 5, where you know how 1 to 5 works, please rate your level of interest in these specific E3 announcements. Xbox Project Scorpio, PS4 Pro, Nintendo Switch, upcoming game releases, and Nintendo Super NES Classic Edition. What's that, Microsoft? What are you talking about there? Microsoft, do you know something for sure? Are you just speculating like everybody else, or do you really know that the Super Nintendo Classic Edition is going to be revealed at E3? I don't know. But Microsoft at least is worried about it enough to be like, oh, let's put this on the survey and see if people want it. They also asked people on the survey what they thought of the Switch, the positives and the negatives about the system, because, you know, they want to see what people like about other gaming platforms so they can make their own better. Knights Owl says, seems like Microsoft might be trying to one-up Nintendo on this hybrid idea. Or not, considering they never made a portable. I kind of feel like they wouldn't start now of all times. Yeah, some people are thinking they're asking about the Switch like that because they're considering their own portable platform. I don't think now is the time for Microsoft to get into the portable division. But you never know. The right product at the right time could be a huge success. So if Microsoft thinks they got something going on, then more power to them. If it plays games, I'm there, man. I don't care what system it is. I have been playing ARMS, and I'm allowed to talk about some of it. That's the retail version. And I did so in my video preview. So you get 10, count them, 10. That's 2 5s. 10 minutes of footage of me playing ARMS in the versus mode against the computer. Not Grand Prix, just versus. And during that footage, I talked to you about my time with the game, specifically my time at local multiplayer, because that's what I've been playing a lot of, and I've really been enjoying it. So if you have, it's not exactly 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. Oh, look at that. That's new. 10 minutes and 38 seconds worth, because I was only allowed to show 10 minutes of footage in one video. I have 10 minutes minus the intro and the outro of my videos. 10 minutes of me playing and nearly 10 minutes of me talking about it. And then I will have my review for you when the embargo is up, which is not now. Can I type with boxing gloves on? No, I cannot. I was impressed because I hit play on the YouTube video here on our channel, and it says live now, GoNintendo Podcast, Webisode 616. It makes it seem so official. People are going to be like, oh, let's check this out. They see this garbage. Sorry, Dog and Pony Show here. Also, which you know if you follow the YouTube channel, so those of you who are watching right now, you guys, you already know this. We had my parents play the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, which has been up on our YouTube channel for a week, but I purposefully didn't post it on GoNintendo.com because I wanted to give my YouTube viewers first shot at it. But if you're subscribed, you knew right when it went up. But if you weren't subscribed and you only follow GoNintendo.com, you only found out about it this week. So that's why you should subscribe. If you like Parents Play and all the weird stuff my dad says, there you go. PRC Nintendo USA says, so NBA Playgrounds isn't happening, or did I miss that one? Oh, it's happening. It's happening. There's a lot to do. Just I've been taking votes on Twitter to see what people want most, and Isaac was the one that won out. So that's why I gave you Isaac. I give you what you want. Okay. We have details for Nintendo Switch's online service, which, as you well know, has been delayed until 2018, the paid version, but that just means we play for free until then, so that's not bad. I'll give you the quick rundown now. I have a video about this on our YouTube channel as well, where I look at the new details and look at them from perspective of good points and bad points, people being upset, people being happy, blah, blah, blah. It's been a unique experience to share that video. I'll leave it at that. I feel like this topic is one people are more angry about than many others. There's like a lot of like real big anger about certain points here. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm just not an angry guy. It takes a lot for me to be like angry about anything, to tell you the truth. It's not worth the time. Like, it's video games, for Christ's sake. We're playing stuff for fun. It's for fun, man. It's just for fun. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too laid back. But anyway, here's the details. It's the online paid service isn't coming until 2018. So we get free until then. What happens in 2018? Our new dedicated smart device app will connect to the Switch and let you invite friends to play online, set play appointments, and chat with friends during online matches in compatible games, all from your smart device. A free limited version of this app will be available for download in summer 2017. Oh my God, that dreaded app. People are losing their goddamn mind off that. People really don't want that app. Hey, if you don't want it, you don't want it. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I may not personally get the level of frustration there is, but if you want to be angry, be angry. More power to you. Spend all your time being angry. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that the app is like my #1 option for how I would prefer to talk online. I'm also not going to say it's the worst thing ever. It is what it is. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. There's other options. And you don't have to pay for it if you don't want to. So vote with your money. If you don't like it, then don't pay for it. Use another service for free. Although you will have to pay to play games online when the service launches. So are you okay paying $20 just to play games online and to get special deals on the eShop and get the classic game selection? $20 a whole year. That's up to you. So speaking of the classic game selection, subscribers will get to download a compilation of classic titles with added online play, such as Super Mario Bros. 3, Balloon Fight, and Dr. Mario. There's special eShop deals that will be available to subscribers, and the breakdown of price, which I already discussed. 12 months all year long is $20. $20 for a whole year. 3 months is $8. 1 month is $4. So if you look at it percentage-wise, if you get the 12-month subscription for $20, I believe that's over a 50% cheaper value than buying the 3-month every 3 months. But there you go. That's the breakdown. Let's see, you guys. Let's see what you were doing. Can I do like this? No, I can't do like this. Don't even know how to use my own site. Well, there was a fight in the positive-negative votes, but the positives won. But duly noted negative votes. I see your complaints in there. Top-rated comment comes from Moldy Clay. Oh, this is a whole string of comments from someone that did not have their information correct. I'm not even going to get into it. So read that on your own time. Nintendo says that Switch Online subscribers will have ongoing access, quote unquote, to classic games with online play. I just wanted to point that out specifically. So it seems like it would be some kind of Netflix style service. Hopefully it's not like, here's 3 games for this month. Next month they're gone, and here's 3 more. Hopefully it's like, here's 5 games for this month. Next month, here's 5 more on top of the other 5. And as long as you pay, you can play them all. But I don't know. We'll skip that one. I'm going to mention it really quickly, so I'm not going to skip it. I'm just not going to cover it in detail. There's a really cool blog post about Zelda Breath of the Wild. It was a dev blog about how they did sound for the game, how they recorded sound. They recorded more than 10,000 different sounds for the game, and they give you a whole rundown of what they did. And they also show you some pictures from inside the sound recording studio, which has a woman standing in boots, like Link's boots, on a block of ice on a blanket in the middle of a recording studio to make sound effects for Link's footsteps. Check out that blog post. It's really cool. Okay, this is a perfect example for this. I have not had a chance to post this because I just got the DM about it a little while ago. I reached out to a friend to translate something. So Nintendo did an interview with Famitsu about the online stuff for the Switch. They say details regarding online play for the classic game selection will be revealed later. They say classic game selection and virtual console are 2 different things. A title from the classic game selection is software that adds new features to classic games. The virtual console, well, I'm going to skip that for this second. Switch owners will subscribe to Switch Online for each account, not as a console. And the service is charged per each Nintendo account. And Nintendo says, wait for future details on tying together various accounts to a single Switch. So if you're a family and you have multiple people, hopefully each one of them won't have to pay $20 to get online for the whole year. It sounds like they're going to have some sort of option there. You'll be able to subscribe to the online service through the eShop. When it goes live, you'll be able to join using the balance on your eShop or a credit card or a prepaid card. And in Japan, they'll sell download cards specifically for that. All right, so here's the tidbit. There's a little snippet in here about the virtual console. Nintendo says the virtual console is different from the classic game selection. And all that we had was virtual console for Switch is not yet decided. What does that mean? Is Virtual Console not coming to Switch? Is Nintendo undecided on bringing Virtual Console to the Switch? Have they not decided the details of the Switch? So I'm going to read this with you live right now. I reached out to the wonderful Cheesemeister3K on Twitter, who is world-renowned for his Nintendo translations. He knows Japanese. And I tweeted him, or I sent him a DM, and I was like, hey, can I bug you? Can I get you to translate this thing for me? And he did. He has the translation right here. I'm going to read it to you right now. He says, question, this is the question from Famitsu. Is the classic game selection different from the Virtual Console? Nintendo's answer. The classic game selection is different from Virtual Console, having new functionality added to classic games. The sale of Virtual Console on Nintendo Switch is still to be announced. All right. So that seems like Virtual Console is going to be on a Switch, but they haven't announced it yet. If they said to be decided, then that would be different. To be decided means we don't know if we're going to put the service on the Switch, but to be announced, I feel a little differently about it. Thank you so much to CheeseMeister3K for that. I'm going to update the post with that as soon as I can. But if there's a translation you can trust, it is CheeseMeister. And trust me on that. We've used his translations and promoted his translations for years because he's very trustworthy. So take that as you will about the Virtual Console. JLA Timer 11 says, so I'd have to pay $80 a year so my family can play online. I really hope something was lost in translation. Yeah, it sounds like there's going to be some sort of option for you. So I wouldn't get too worried, my friend. Our last top story. Who this is? Zelda Breath of the Wild director Hidemaru Fujibayashi talked about the game and its development. Well, they talked about how surprised they were by the reaction from fans and critics. They weren't expecting it to be as highly praised as it was. You know, they're always trying to do their best, but they were taken aback by how much people really like this game. As far as where this takes place in the timeline, this guy says it takes place in an age long, long after any of the titles released to date. It is the most recent age, and because of this, we believe players will be able to easily immerse themselves in the game. Of course, regardless of the time period, the story does unfold in Hyrule, so for those who've enjoyed other titles in the series, there will be a lot of recognizable places to enjoy. Talk a bit about the Divine Beasts and how they came to be. Talk about how development started and how the original focus wasn't this open world, open air experience. Then finally, they are asked, what are the chances we see another major Zelda title on the Switch? And Nintendo says, there's nothing we can say about that at this time, but we are currently working on new content for the expansion pass to extend your enjoyment of Breath of the Wild. So, will there be another Zelda game for Switch? If there is, probably towards the end of the system's lifespan, because, you know, Zelda games take a while. I can't imagine this one would take as long the new one would take as long to make as Breath of the Wild did, because Breath of the Wild is like the new cornerstone, and for the next however many years we'll get games like that, at least on the consoles. But yeah, like he says, slow it down a bit. We got DLC coming out for Breath of the Wild. We got story DLC, we got gameplay DLC, yeah, we got all of it. So look forward to that. Virtual Phase says, stating the game takes place many, many years later than any game is just a justified way to get away from that goddamn timeline. I get the feeling Nintendo never wanted to commit to a timeline and just buckled under constant nagging. I don't think Nintendo does that. I hope they say that the next Zelda takes place thousands of years later again and effectively wipe away the concept of a time. I hate time. Whatever. Again, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, people get so annoyed about some stuff, and I'm like, I don't get it. But they're passionate. They really like something. They feel like whatever the information is they're getting is ruining their experience. So the passion is a good thing. But it's not so good. It's not good to be so angry. Builds up in your heart, builds up in your brain, makes you bitter. Just take it easy. Take it easy a little bit. There's things worth being angry about. Serious things, life-changing things, health, politics, all stuff like that. You like your day-to-day expenses, taking care of the ones you love. Those are things that are serious. Those are things worth getting angry about. Getting really angry about there being an official timeline in Zelda. I don't know. I'm not going to put it up high on my list of things that are worth getting angry and worrying about. But maybe my priorities are wrong. To each their own. It's all experiences are relative. So who am I to say? Burn and Cheese says, I want to be angry now. Hey, go right ahead. It's Friday. You're finally off of work or school. You want to be angry? You be angry. All right. I got a little bit here to talk about what I've been playing. So I played ARMS. Go watch the video. You don't need to hear me talk about that again. I'll give you my review when I'm allowed to do it. There's another game I can't talk about. I'll talk about it when the embargo's up. I don't know when that embargo's up. It's not soon. It's like 20-ish, around June 20-ish, somewhere around there. I played last week. If you follow us on Instagram, you saw that I brought my Switch to a family party because I wanted to be the Karen. We're not, even though my mom's name is Karen and she was at the party, I'm the Karen. We didn't have a rooftop party. We had a patio party and an indoor party. So I brought the Switch just for the hell of it. And boy, did we play it. Lots of people wanted to play it. So we played hashtag the Karen. We played Puyo Puyo Tetris, whatever it's called, because my family is really into that. My family has a very long-standing appreciation of Tetris, so they'll take Tetris in any way that they can get it. So I brought 4 Joy-Cons with me, and we were playing 4-player, and we had a blast. Like, they could play that game all day long. That is not a joke. Like, they'll play for hours and hours and hours. One more game, one more game, one more game. Stitched, no, I did not dress in my Karen attire. So we played that, and we were playing only in tabletop mode because I didn't bring the dock with me. But we played in tabletop mode, and we played a lot. Because the party started at like 1, and we were there until 10. Our family parties go on for a long time because we like each other. So, you know, during certain times when things calmed down a bit, we were playing. And we ended up playing, we played that later. We also played Jackbox Party Pack 3. We didn't play that on the Switch. We played it on TV. My cousin's kids have a PS4, and they were playing it on there. So we played some of that. I mean, that's always fun, especially when you got a group of people. And as long as they're willing to be raunchy and immature, it makes it even better. So we played that. I think that's it, other than the one I was saving for last. So I finally sat down. I got a chance. I brought SD Sticker. I was saying only 3 hours if no battery pack. I turned the brightness all the way down. I don't know how long we played. It was close to 3 hours. I know that, but I didn't get a battery warning. I can't imagine Tetris is going to drain the system like Zelda does, so we should get more time out of it than that. Banker on. I don't know if I got that tweet. When did you send it? Today? Because I'm doing this now. I posted about his teased game, but if there was a tweet today, I didn't see it. But yeah, I finally sat down. I got the chance to play Rhyme. I'm playing Rhyme on PS4 instead of Switch because it's not out on Switch yet. So I'm going to have a video review of that shortly. It will be of the PS4 version, but I'll be reviewing the game for content. No, I didn't see it, Bankeron. I will check after the show. But Rhyme, holy moly, it's one of the prettiest games I have ever seen. It's an absolutely gorgeous game. I can't say enough about the visuals. It's so pretty and vibrant and just whimsical, and oh, I just love it. It's like a painting come to life. It's absolutely gorgeous. And as far as gameplay goes, it's what I expected it to be. It's like a little bit like Eco, and it's a little bit like Journey. And it's, you know, some light puzzles. Well, there's a lot of puzzles in there, but they're very light puzzles, nothing too taxing. And, you know, it's serene and about exploration and climbing and just taking it all in. I'm really enjoying it so far. I know the reception to it was kind of mixed. I don't know. I need to, before I get more into the mixed reception to it, I need to play it more. Maybe my experience will sour. So... yeah, I'm really liking it. It's a lot of fun. I wish I had more time to play it, which is always a good thing to say because it means I want to play it more. Yes, Neo, I have a PS4. I get whatever the system. So when it comes to hobbies, and I have money to spend, which is not a lot, I always make sure whenever a new system is coming out, be it a portable or a console, when it is officially announced, I always start putting aside money for it. A Nintendo platform, a Sony platform, a Microsoft platform, it doesn't matter. I play video games to play video games. So when the PS4 was announced, I was like, all right, every week I'm going to put aside a few bucks, and when the PS4 comes out, I'll be good to go. Hello, Andrew Eisen. You're joining towards the tail end of the show. I apologize. But I set aside the money because I like playing games. I know I cover Nintendo, and I obviously love Nintendo's games, But when it comes to games in general, I really don't have any preference. I happen to love Nintendo's games, but I love games from other companies too. It's just I have a long history with Nintendo, and I know the most about Nintendo. So that's why I do go Nintendo. But yeah, I love games in general. So PS4, I got day one. Xbox One, I got day one. I have the day one edition controller. PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox, PS2, all of them, day one. Day one. Obviously, that changes when you go further back because I was a young kid and I wasn't working and I didn't have, saving up money came from like allowance and stuff. So it didn't work exactly the same. But I would trade stuff in and get systems as often as I could. Yeah, I just play games. I love games in general. It's about games. Metroid says it best. Video games are video games. I agree. Andrew Eisen is at work. What are you doing at work, Andrew? It's Friday. Leave work. Tell him I said you could go. I don't even know what you do, but whoever's in charge, tell him I said you could go. But yeah, I just love playing games. So I am playing Rime on my PS4. Excellent soundtrack, beautiful graphics, interesting gameplay. I'm intrigued by the story. Controls well. I got no complaints right now. Again, the theme of the show has been maybe I'm too easygoing. Could be. But I'm having a good time with it. And, oh, yeah. I almost forgot something else. What's this? I've been playing... this isn't new, but I got back into it because it has new content. I've been playing this is hashtag not sponsored. I've been playing Happy Wheels on my phone. I'm such a fan of... Look how dirty that phone is. I'm such a fan of Happy Wheels. It's simple. It always makes me laugh. It's over the top with its violence, which makes me laugh. I don't know if that makes me a horrible person, but yeah, they had new content that I hadn't played on the mobile version, so I've been playing that just when I'm like, if I'm sitting here like editing a video and I can't do anything else on the computer, if I'm not watching a movie or something like that, I'm playing that on my phone just for the hell of it. Andrew, you two, get out of work. And both Andrews, Andrew Eisen and Andrew Boyle, go home. Andrew Eisen says I would go home, but everyone above me already went home. Well, go ahead then. Nobody's there to see if you left or not. So that if everybody above you is gone, that means you're the boss. Tell them I'm out of here. I'm done with this place. So yeah, I've been playing that. And on top of that, I've been watching a lot of I've been catching up on on-demand stuff that I haven't been watching. There's just so much good stuff on right now. Twin Peaks, this is silly to say, but so Twin Peaks came on. It had its 2 seasons, and then you had to wait, 27 years before the series came back. So they showed episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the debut night that it returned. And then there's a 2-week wait for episode 5, which ends on this Sunday. And these 2 weeks have been like torture. So the poor people that had to wait 27 years to get this new season, I'm waiting 2 weeks and I'm like, come on, let's go. I saw Twin Peaks originally 5 years or so ago. So, people weren't expecting a revival. I'm guessing it just happened. But, yeah, now that I'm back into it, I'm like, oh, God, I wish this was on Netflix so I could just see them all at once. I would have binged it right away. But, yeah, Twin Peaks I'm loving. And I'm watching American Gods. I'm an episode behind, so I got to catch up on that probably tonight while I'm editing. I'm watching... I watched Riverdale, which was recommended by a whole bunch of people, which I really loved. I watched that and really enjoyed it. A different level than... Twin Peaks or American Gods, without a doubt, but still enjoyable nonetheless. Mom Brain just finished it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. No, 2 days ago. She finished it 2 days ago. And she liked it too. And there's just, there's a new season of House of Cards, which I want to get into. I was watching that and, yeah, I can do that. This is great. I got to do the podcast more on the desktop. Too bad this room can't fit 4 other people. Someone sent me a message. I can't see anything. Someone sent me a message, and I have yet to reply to them. It is Canadian Rambo. He says, I decided to watch Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid after hearing about it during the after show podcast. It's so friggin' adorable. Now, because of you, I need to watch all of it. It's fine, though. Just wanted to shout out. Thanks for the recommendation, I guess. Well, you're welcome. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to reply to you on the site yet, but hopefully you listened to this podcast or you're watching it right now, and you got to hear my reply. So I was talking about that on last week's after show of the podcast, and so obviously some of you checked it out, and you seemed to enjoy it, so I'm glad you did. So many different passions, so many things. What am I doing here? So many things that I'd like to talk about if I had more time. Running GoNintendo is a full-time thing, so I've tried doing like blogs for anime and blogs for other stuff. I can't keep up with it. I don't have the time, and I'd hate to do something where it's like, here's a post, see you in a week. I don't want to do it like that. If people wouldn't get so angry, I would do it on the YouTube channel just for the hell of it. It's easier to do a video than to sit down and write. But I know the GoNintendo YouTube channel isn't right for that kind of stuff. Patreon, there's another reason for Patreon. I don't know, man. All right, that's this week's show. We're done. It's like 1,000,000 degrees in here. Thanks for watching and listening. Thanks to all you that joined live. I really appreciate it. I had a good time. I hope you did too. I like these one-on-one, one-on however many podcasts that I do. I don't know, a lot of you guys always comment and say that you enjoy them as well. But I don't know. Next week I'll probably be busy on Saturday again, so we'll do another Friday show. Whatever it is, there's going to be a podcast. Thank you. It's a trap. I appreciate it. Andrew, I am not up to date on Attack on Titan. That's one that I need. I only watched the first 2 episodes. I was letting them build up, and I made that mistake because now all this other stuff came in, so I have to get back into that. All right. No after show today because this computer actually is good, so it exports right away. So this is the end, people. Have a lovely weekend. Play some games, have some fun, take it easy. See some family and friends. See some loved ones. They love you. They want to see you. Just relax. You've earned it. And I will see you next week on one of these days for the GoNintendo podcast. Episode, what is it? Webisode 617. So until then, take it easy. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you later. Goodbye, everybody.